Imagine what your life would look like if you stopped fighting against it, if you let go of the need to control every outcome, embraced each moment for what it is, and allowed life to unfold naturally. What if you could achieve everything you've ever wanted, not by striving relentlessly, but by simply allowing? This isn't a passive approach, nor is it about giving up on ambition. Instead, it's about aligning with the natural flow of life, recognizing that the more we resist, the harder life becomes. The more we embrace fate, the more effortlessly we move toward the life we desire. This is the essence of Wu Wei, the Taoist principle of non-doing or effortless action. At first glance, Wu Wei may seem counterintuitive in a world that glorifies hustle culture and relentless ambition. Yet, Wu Wei teaches us that by forcing things, whether it's success, relationships, or personal growth, we often create unnecessary tension and frustration. The key is to act in harmony with life, to move with its currents rather than against them. It's not about inaction, but about flowing with intention, making decisions that feel natural rather than forced. Closely aligned with this is the concept of amor fati, the Stoic philosophy of loving one's fate. Amor fati teaches us to not only accept the events that happen to us, but to embrace them fully, to see every challenge, every moment of difficulty, as an opportunity. Rather than wishing circumstances were different or fighting against what is, amor fati invites us to find meaning and purpose in everything, even in our struggles. By embracing the unpredictability of life, we move beyond mere acceptance. We learn to love the very things that we once resisted. This brings us to the art of slow living, a practice that encourages us to savor each moment, to focus on quality over quantity. In a world that demands constant productivity and speed, slow living teaches us to find peace in simplicity. It's about rejecting the societal pressures that tell us faster is better, and instead choosing to fully engage with the present moment. When we slow down, we begin to notice the richness of life that's been waiting for us all along. We realize that fulfillment isn't found in doing more, but in doing less and doing it well. The common thread in all of these philosophies is the idea that life doesn't have to be a battle. The more we stop resisting, the more life works in our favor. Effortless living isn't about avoiding responsibility or ambition. It's about shifting how we approach life. It's about recognizing that the more we trust the process, whether that's the natural flow of events in Taoism, the Stoic acceptance of fate, or the mindful, deliberate pace of slow living, the more fulfilled, productive, and aligned we become. If you're tired of struggling, of always feeling like you need to do more or be more, then perhaps it's time to embrace these principles. By integrating Wu Wei, amor fati, and slow living into your life, you may discover that everything you've been chasing has been right in front of you all along. The path forward isn't one of resistance, it's one of flow, acceptance, and presence. And in that space, true transformation begins. Have you ever observed the elegance with which a river flows, winding its way around obstacles, never rushing, yet always reaching its destination? Have you watched a tree grow, stretching towards the sky, never straining but always expanding? There's a rhythm, a natural pulse to life, a kind of harmonious dance that doesn't rely on force or strain, yet achieves the seemingly impossible. What if I told you that the same principle could be applied to your own life? What if the very act of not trying could get you closer to your goals than years of hard grind and force? Welcome to a journey into the profound philosophy of the East, where the idea of non-action, or Wu Wei, reigns supreme. It's a concept that has shaped the lives of countless individuals, guiding them towards a life of harmony, peace, and yes, achievement. But it defies a lot of what we've been conditioned to believe. In today's relentless, hustle-driven world, the very thought of achieving something without aggressive action sounds, at best, like a romantic dream, and at worst, sheer laziness. But Wu Wei is neither. It's the intricate art of knowing when to act and when to remain still. Now, this term might be new to many of you. Originating from Taoist philosophy, this ancient Chinese term literally translates to non-action or non-doing. But much like many age-old philosophical concepts, the meaning goes far deeper than its literal translation. It's not about sitting idly by while life happens around you. Instead, it's about aligning one's actions so perfectly with the natural flow of circumstances that everything seems to fall into place effortlessly. Imagine for a moment a martial artist, poised, balanced, waiting. When the opponent strikes, the artist doesn't exert unnecessary force. Instead, they channel the momentum, use the energy given to them, and move in harmony with the situation. That, in essence, is Wu Wei. It's the ability to recognize when to exert effort and when to let things unfold, trusting that the universe or the Tao is always in a natural state of balance. And here lies the paradox. In a world that champions the idea of more effort equals more results, the Taoist principle of Wu Wei suggests the opposite. Sometimes, it's in the space of non-action, in the pause, the breath, the waiting, that true power is realized. It's a counterintuitive thought, isn't it? That by trying less, we might achieve more. By letting go of our need to control every outcome, we might find that outcomes align more harmoniously with our desires. Consider for a moment the last time you tried to force a result. Maybe you were trying to convince someone of your viewpoint, or perhaps you were pushing hard for a work project to come to fruition in a specific way. How did that feel? Tense, exhausting, frustrating. Now recall a time where you set an intention, did your part, and then let things unfold. The difference in these two approaches is not just in the outcomes, but in the journey itself. It's worth noting that this isn't about advocating passivity. Quite the opposite. Wu Wei is deeply active. It requires acute awareness, keen observation, and a deep connection with one's environment and self. The key difference is where the action comes from, a place of force or a place of alignment. In this exploration we're about to embark on, I invite you to open your mind and heart to the wisdom of the East, to the lessons of the rivers, the trees, and the ancient sages who understood something profound about the universe. That in the art of not trying, we might just discover the secret to achieving everything we've ever wanted, and to do so with grace, ease, and joy. To truly grasp the depth of Wu Wei, we must first journey back in time, traversing the landscapes of ancient China, where atop misty mountains and within serene temples, the seeds of Taoism were sown. The concept of Wu Wei is not just a passing thought or a modern trend, it's a profound wisdom deeply embedded in the halls of Eastern philosophy. Taoism, or Taoism as it's sometimes referred to, is an ancient philosophical and spiritual tradition that has shaped Chinese culture for over 2 millennia. At its heart lies the Tao or Tao, often translated as the Way. However, much like Wu Wei, Tao is a term so vast and profound that it's somewhat elusive to direct translation. The Tao is described as the ultimate, the source, the underlying nature of all existence. It's both the beginning and the end, the path and the traveler, and it is in this cosmic dance of the Tao that the principle of Wu Wei finds its rhythm. The most revered text in Taoism, the Tao Te Ching, penned by the mysterious figure Lao Tzu, offers pearls of wisdom about this principle. Here's a taste from chapter 37 of the Tao Te Ching. The Tao never does anything, yet through it all things are done. If powerful men and women could remain centered in the Tao, all things would be in harmony. The paradoxical essence of this concept is palpable in these lines. The Tao, in its non-action, gives rise to all action. It's not the clanging, noisy efforts, but the silent, profound stillness that brings forth the universe's dance. When we align with the Tao, when we flow in harmony with the natural order, we can achieve more than when we swim against the current. But Taoism isn't the only Eastern philosophy that reveres the principles akin to Wu Wei. Journeying eastward from China, we touch the shores of Japan, where Zen Buddhism flourished. Zen, with its emphasis on meditation, mindfulness, and presence, echoes the sentiments of Wu Wei in its teachings. While Zen doesn't directly speak of non-action, it profoundly emphasizes the state of being over doing. Consider the Zen practice of shikantaza, or just sitting. It's a form of meditation where one isn't trying to do anything, think anything, or achieve anything. Instead, it's about simply being, observing, and existing. It's a radical act of pure presence, where the meditator is not seeking enlightenment, but is instead just being in the moment. This just being, while seemingly passive, is an intense form of active engagement with the present. Much like Wu Wei, it's about alignment, harmony, and merging with the flow. Moreover, while Zen and Taoism might be the most prominent, many other Eastern traditions echo similar sentiments. The ancient Indian philosophy of Nishkama Karma from the Bhagavad Gita, for instance, speaks of action without attachment to results, a theme closely resonant with Wu Wei's principles. It's fascinating to observe that despite the geographical, linguistic, and cultural divides, there seems to be a universal thread weaving through these philosophies. They all point towards a profound truth. Sometimes, it's not our forceful interventions, but our gentle surrender, our alignment with a greater cosmic dance that brings about the most profound outcomes. Whether it's the silent Tao guiding all existence, the Zen master just sitting in profound presence, or the Gita's call to act without attachment, the message is clear. There is an art, a subtle beauty in not trying, in just being, and in flowing with the currents of life. As we delve deeper into the philosophical waters of the East, the term Wu Wei rises as a lighthouse, guiding us towards understanding a distinctive approach to life. It's a phrase that intrigues, conjuring images of stillness, perhaps even of monks atop secluded mountains. But what does it truly signify? Let's commence with the linguistics. Wu Wei is a Chinese term where Wu translates to not or without, and Wei means doing or action. Together they frame the idea of non-action or non-doing. But herein lies a quandary. A superficial interpretation might suggest inertia, stagnation, or passive idleness. However, that would be a grievous misinterpretation of a profound philosophy that has been a guiding light for sages, rulers, and thinkers for centuries. This principle is akin to the elegance of a dancer lost in the performance, so engrossed in the moment that every move feels not like a calculated step but a natural extension of their being. It's the painter whose brush flows freely across the canvas, not directed by the conscious mind but guided by a spontaneous spirit. This idea is not about the absence of action but the purity of action. It's an act free from friction, free from the rigid structures of overthinking, planning, or forcing. To elucidate further, consider the flow of water. It doesn't strain, doesn't push, yet it's unceasing in its movement, carving valleys and shaping mountains over time. Water doesn't try in the way we often understand the term. It simply follows its intrinsic nature, moves in alignment with the environment. This is the essence of Wu Wei, acting in accordance with one's nature and the nature of the universe, without unnecessary force. A frequent misconception surrounding Wu Wei is equating it with laziness or a lack of ambition. This couldn't be further from the truth. Embracing this concept doesn't mean abandoning aspirations or responsibilities. Instead, it signifies a reframing of how we approach them. For instance, a martial artist practicing Wu Wei is not passive. When confronted, They don't use brute strength to overpower an opponent. Instead, they employ a deep understanding of energy, momentum, and leverage to redirect forces, using minimal energy for maximum impact. It's an aligned action, strategic and efficient, rather than a brute force approach. A modern analogy could be drawn from the world of aeronautics. Consider the principle of aerodynamic efficiency in aircraft design. Engineers don't merely add more power to make planes fly faster or higher. They craft the design to minimize air resistance, allowing the plane to glide smoothly with lesser fuel consumption. This optimization, where you achieve more by using less, mirrors this profound Taoist philosophy. In life, this might translate to listening more than speaking in a heated discussion, allowing the conversation to flow to understanding rather than forcing an agenda. In business, it could mean understanding market currents and consumer behavior and positioning one's strategy in alignment rather than pushing against prevailing trends. In essence, Wu Wei champions a harmonious engagement with life where action emerges from a place of deep awareness, alignment, and adaptability. It encourages us to observe, to understand the rhythm, and to act when the time is ripe. It's about sensing the ebb and flow of situations and seamlessly integrating our actions within these natural rhythms. In a world constantly urging us to act, to hustle, to push harder, the ancient wisdom of Wu Wei offers a refreshing counterintuitive perspective. It reminds us that sometimes the greatest power lies not in how forcefully we can push, but in how harmoniously we can flow. The natural world has always been a reservoir of wisdom, offering insights into life's deeper truths. For the sages of the East, especially Lao Tzu, one element stood out as an unparalleled teacher: water. This simple, unassuming substance, covering the majority of our blue planet, becomes a potent metaphor in the hands of the Taoist philosopher, providing us with profound insights into the essence of Wu Wei. In the Tao Te Ching, he articulates the philosophy of Wu Wei using the metaphor of water in numerous passages. One of the most notable mentions is, "Nothing in the world is as soft and yielding as water, yet for dissolving the hard and inflexible, nothing can surpass it." Water's nature is not to resist, not to challenge head-on, and certainly not to rush. Yet it's always persistent, always moving, always finding a way. Think of a meandering river. It doesn't take a straight path, nor does it force its way through obstacles. It carves its path patiently, molding the very landscape around it over time. Even when confronted with a rock or a mountain, water doesn't halt. It simply finds a way around, under, or over it. Such is the essence of Wu Wei, acting without unnecessary force, allowing things to unfold and gracefully navigating the path of least resistance. Lao Tzu's emphasis on water illustrates a crucial aspect of resilience. In contemporary understanding, resilience might be misconstrued as toughness or rigidity. But true resilience, as symbolized by water, is in its adaptability, its flexibility. Water takes the shape of any container it's put in, yet it retains its essence. It can be soft as a morning dewdrop or powerful as a tidal wave, adapting to its context without losing its core nature. Similarly, when we embody these principles in our lives, we develop a resilience that doesn't stem from mere stubbornness or grit, but from a deep understanding and alignment with the flow of life. When faced with adversity, rather than breaking under pressure or resisting change, we learn to adapt, evolve, and find new ways, just as water would. Every obstacle, much like the boulders in a stream, offers an opportunity, a chance to recalibrate, reassess, and find a new path. The rocks don't deter the water, they merely change its course. Similarly, in life, challenges and setbacks are inevitable. This philosophy, as encapsulated by the water metaphor, encourages us not to meet these challenges with brute force or denial, but with understanding and adaptability. Imagine being faced with a professional setback. Instead of resisting it or dwelling in despair, the principle of Wu Wei would have us assess the situation, understand its dynamics, and then act in a way that aligns with the present reality, all the while maintaining our broader vision. Much like water, the journey might take unexpected turns, but the destination remains in sight. But perhaps the most striking feature of water is its unassuming power. It nourishes, sustains, carves valleys, and erodes mountains. All this not through violent bursts, but through consistent, gentle action. In many ways, water embodies the paradox of Wu Wei, soft yet powerful, gentle yet persistent, flexible yet unyielding in its essence. Lao Tzu, in drawing parallels between water and Wu Wei, compels us to reconsider our notions of strength and success. In a world that often equates power with aggression and achievement with relentless pursuit, the water metaphor offers a counter-narrative. It speaks of a strength that is not loud but profound, of achievements not born out of strife, but out of harmonious alignment. In embracing the teachings of Lao Tzu and the wisdom of Wu Wei, we are not just adopting a philosophical stance, but a way of life, one where we respect the flow, understand the power of persistence, recognize the strength in softness, and above all, trust the journey. For in the end, like water, we will find our way, shaping paths and carving destinies, one gentle ripple at a time. As we traverse the landscape of thought, from the whispering pines of ancient China to the bustling laboratories and lecture halls of 20th century psychology, there emerges a fascinating confluence. The wisdom of Wu Wei, as it meets modern psychological understanding, finds a vibrant echo in a term that's piqued the interest of thinkers, athletes, artists, and professionals alike: the flow state. Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, a pioneering figure in positive psychology, introduced the concept of flow to the wider world through his groundbreaking research. He describes flow as a state of complete immersion in an activity, wherein an individual is so engrossed that everything else seems to fade away. Time appears to warp, self-consciousness diminishes, and all that matters is the task at hand. In Csikszentmihalyi's own words, flow is a state in which people are so involved in an activity that nothing else seems to matter. The experience itself is so enjoyable that people will do it even at great cost, for the sheer sake of doing it. At the heart of both Wu Wei and the flow state lies the concept of effortlessness, not in the sense of lack of exertion, but as a harmonious alignment that removes the sensation of strain. When one is in a flow state, there isn't a feeling of trying hard. Instead, actions and decisions arise spontaneously, guided by intuition and experience. This mirrors the teachings of Wu Wei, where actions are in alignment with the nature of the self and the universe, transcending the realm of forced effort. Present moment awareness is another common thread weaving through both philosophies. In the flow state, individuals are deeply anchored in the now. They aren't distracted by past regrets or future anxieties. Every ounce of their attention is riveted on the present task. Similarly, Wu Wei emphasizes the importance of moving with the natural rhythms of the present moment, unburdened by the weights of past and future. The environment and our alignment with it play a pivotal role in both concepts. In Csikszentmihalyi's flow, an individual's skills are perfectly matched with the challenge at hand. There's a harmonious balance where neither boredom, from a task being too easy, nor anxiety, from a task being too hard, can prevail. This equilibrium resonates deeply with Wu Wei's call for aligned action, where one acts in harmony with the external environment, neither overreaching nor underperforming. A particularly fascinating overlap is the transcendence of the self. In the throes of a flow state, the ego, with all its insecurities and self-consciousness, dissolves. One becomes the action they are performing, be it painting, running, writing, or any other activity. This dissolution of the self offers a profound sense of fulfillment and contentment. In the embrace of Wu Wei, a similar transcendence is observed. By aligning with the Tao, the way of the universe, one moves beyond the narrow confines of the self. There's a melding into a larger tapestry, a harmonious union with the world around, which brings about deep inner peace and satisfaction. In the realms of modern psychology, the flow state has been linked to heightened creativity, increased productivity, and enhanced well-being. From athletes breaking records to artists crafting masterpieces, the fingerprints of flow are evident. Csikszentmihalyi's research provides a scientific framework to what ancient Taoist sages intuited centuries ago. Both perspectives, despite the vast chasm of time and culture between them, advocate for a life of harmony, alignment, and joyful immersion. In the echoes between Wu Wei and the flow state, we witness a testament to the universality of certain truths. Whether articulated through the poetic metaphors of Lao Tzu or the empirical research of Csikszentmihalyi, the message remains consistent. True fulfillment and excellence arise not from strained effort, but from harmonious alignment with oneself, the task, and the world. In the vast mosaic of human civilizations, each culture has painted its unique strokes, shaped by geography, history, and collective aspirations. As we shift our lens westward from the tranquil banks of ancient Chinese wisdom, we encounter a markedly different ethos. Here, the drumbeat of doing reverberates with unwavering intensity. But this tireless march, while propelling societies to dizzying heights, also casts long shadows of exhaustion and ennui. Let's dive into this dynamic, understanding its origins, its implications, and its challenges. From the towering skyscrapers that scrape the heavens to the unceasing hum of metropolises that never sleep, the Western world is a testament to human ambition. Historically, this part of the world has lionized the idea of action. The American dream, for instance, encapsulates this sentiment. With hard work, determination, and a bit of luck, anyone can climb the ladder of success. It's an ethos of manifest destiny, of conquering frontiers, both external and internal. Renaissance Europe saw a burst of creativity and exploration, celebrating human potential and individualism. The subsequent Industrial Revolution further entrenched the idea of ceaseless productivity, with machines and men working round the clock, transforming societies and economies. In the modern era, this celebration of action has found new avatars. The Silicon Valley startup culture, with its hustle hard mantra, the self-help industry's emphasis on goal setting and achievement, and even our social media landscapes that reward constant engagement, all echo the same message: to be is to do. But like Icarus, soaring ever higher on waxen wings, this relentless pursuit has its perils. The consequences are manifold, affecting individuals and societies at large. Once considered a fringe phenomenon, burnout is now recognized as a legitimate syndrome by health bodies like the World Health Organization. It's characterized by emotional exhaustion, cynicism, and reduced efficacy in work. This isn't merely tiredness, it's a profound depletion of the human spirit. The pressure to be always on, always performing, and always reaching for the next milestone has turned stress into a ubiquitous companion for many. Chronic stress, as numerous studies suggest, has debilitating effects on physical health, mental well-being, and overall life satisfaction. Ironically, the obsession with constant action often leads to inefficiency. The myth of multitasking, the inability to disconnect, and the erosion of deep, focused work means that while we might be busier than ever, we aren't necessarily more productive. The quality of output, creativity, and innovation often suffers in the relentless churn of activity. Amidst the endless hustle, there's a creeping sense of existential void. Many begin to question the purpose of their incessant efforts. Is it merely for material accumulation, social validation? Or is there a deeper meaning to life that gets obscured in the blinding dust of constant movement? The Western emphasis on doing has undoubtedly led to remarkable advancements, innovations, and improvements in living standards. But as with all things, balance is crucial. The pendulum, which has swung towards relentless action, might need some recalibration. Eastern philosophies, with their emphasis on being, on harmony, and on aligned action, like the concept of Wu Wei we explored, offer a counterpoint. They invite a reconsideration of our relentless pursuit, suggesting that sometimes in letting go of forced effort, in tuning into the rhythms of nature and life, and in embracing stillness amidst the storm, we might find not just peace, but also a more profound, sustainable, and joyous productivity. As our world becomes ever more interconnected, there's an opportunity, a necessity even, to engage in a cross-cultural dialogue, to understand the strengths and limitations of different worldviews, and weave together a tapestry that draws from the best of both. In this synthesis, there's hope for a future where achievement and well-being walk hand in hand, where the rivers of action and introspection merge, leading us to shores of greater understanding and fulfillment. In the luminous glow of ancient wisdom, abstract concepts often float like ethereal clouds. Their beauty and depth are undeniable, but how do we tether these lofty notions to the grounded realities of our daily lives? How can one employ the serenity and wisdom of Wu Wei amidst deadlines, digital distractions, and never-ending to-do lists? Let's embark on this journey, seeking tangible strategies inspired by Wu Wei, enabling us to navigate our fast-paced world with grace and purpose. The grace of letting go. By letting it go, it all gets done. The world is won by those who let it go. But when you try and try, the world is beyond the winning. Lao Tzu. One of the most potent lessons from Wu Wei is recognizing the power of non-action, especially when action doesn't align with the natural course. In our everyday life, this can translate into understanding when to pause, step back, or even abandon a task. For example, if you're facing a creative block or are entangled in a persistent disagreement with someone, sometimes it's best to step away for a moment, take a break, and allow space for clarity to emerge. This isn't defeat or avoidance, it's strategic non-action, allowing the natural course of things to take over. In the workspace, this might mean knowing when to delegate or when to leave space for a colleague to come to a realization on their own. In personal relationships, it might be choosing not to react impulsively, allowing emotions to settle before responding. Cultivating patience. Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. Understanding the rhythm of life, trees don't sprout overnight. Seasons transition with an innate rhythm, and the cosmos moves in its time. Wu Wei teaches us that, like nature, our lives too have a rhythm. Embracing patience doesn't mean being passive or lackadaisical. It means acknowledging that not everything is within our immediate control. Whether you're awaiting the germination of a seed you've planted, the fruition of a project, or the evolution of a personal relationship, patience becomes a powerful ally. It provides the buffer against anxiety, the urge to interfere, or to hasten processes that naturally require time. In a practical sense, this could translate to not constantly checking for responses after sending an important email, giving space to new team members to adjust and align with company culture, or understanding that personal growth and learning have their own pace, distinct for each individual. The paradox of over-effort. Trying to control the future is like trying to take the master carpenter's place. When you handle the master carpenter's tools, chances are that you'll cut your hand. In our obsession with results, we sometimes believe that putting in more effort, working longer hours, taking on more tasks, pushing harder, will yield better outcomes. Wu Wei challenges this notion. Imagine trying to write with a pen by applying excessive pressure. Not only will the writing be messy, but you might also damage the paper or break the pen. Similarly, over-effort in our endeavors can lead to burnout, reduced efficiency, and can sometimes even sabotage the very goal we're trying to achieve. Over-preparation for an event might make you anxious and less adaptable to changes. Pushing a team relentlessly might lead to decreased morale, innovation, and productivity. In personal spheres, pressuring a relationship to progress at an unnatural pace might strain or break it. The teaching here is to find the balance between action and inaction, ensuring our efforts align with the natural progression of things. It's about trusting the process, giving our best, but also understanding that excessive force is not just unnecessary, but often detrimental. Embracing the lessons of Wu Wei in our contemporary world might seem like a challenge, but these age-old teachings aren't in opposition to action. They are a refined approach to it. It's about harmonizing with the flow of life, understanding when to act, when to wait, and when to retreat. As we integrate these lessons, we find that the wisdom of the ancients can indeed illuminate our modern paths, guiding us towards a life of balance, fulfillment, and profound understanding. Across the tapestry of human experience, countless narratives showcase the principles of Wu Wei in action, even if the protagonists of these tales might not explicitly cite this Eastern philosophy. From boardrooms to sports arenas, artists' studios to personal narratives, there's an abundance of evidence suggesting that sometimes less truly is more. Let's traverse these varied landscapes, discovering stories where effortless action made all the difference. The inception of 3M's Post-it notes. One of the most iconic products to emerge from the corporate world, the Post-it note was, in essence, a byproduct of an experiment gone wrong. Dr. Spencer Silver, a scientist at 3M in 1968, was attempting to develop a super-strong adhesive. Instead, he accidentally created a low-tack, reusable, pressure-sensitive adhesive. For years, this mistake lay dormant, with no apparent use. It wasn't until 1974 when a colleague, Art Fry, realized its potential as a solution to his perpetually slipping bookmarks in his hymn book. By not forcing an immediate application for the failed adhesive, 3M eventually introduced a product in 1980 that would revolutionize offices worldwide, the Post-it note. Had Silver been singularly focused and discarded what didn't match his initial aim, the world might never have had this indispensable tool. The Beatles' Let It Be. In the turbulent waters of creativity, sometimes stepping back allows the tides of inspiration to flow freely. During a period of internal disagreements and external pressures, Paul McCartney dreamt of his deceased mother who told him, "Let it be." This dream not only inspired the song but also represented a philosophy that McCartney and the rest of the Beatles began to embrace. Instead of forcing creativity amidst chaos, they allowed things to unfold naturally. The result? One of their most iconic songs and albums. It's a testament to the power of surrendering to the moment, letting go of the need to control, and allowing creativity to blossom in its own time. Roger Bannister and the 4-Minute Mile. Before 1954, the notion of running a mile in less than 4 minutes was considered impossible, but Roger Bannister, a medical student and runner, approached the challenge with a different philosophy. While many athletes were increasing their training regimens, Bannister decreased his. He believed in quality over quantity, ensuring that each training session was purposeful and aligned. He did not force himself into excessive routines or succumb to overtraining. With a focused and minimalist approach, on May 6, 1954, Bannister did the unthinkable. He ran a mile in 3 minutes 59.4 seconds. His accomplishment was not just about physical prowess, but also about understanding the rhythm of his body and knowing when to push and when to rest. The story of Julia and the unplanned journey. Julia, a marketing professional, had meticulously planned a solo trip to Italy. Every hour was accounted for, every site to be visited listed. But on her second day, she lost her itinerary to a sudden gust of wind in Venice. With no internet access and a dead phone battery, she had a choice: panic or embrace the unexpected. Choosing the latter, she allowed the city to guide her. She meandered through alleys, discovered hidden courtyards, experienced impromptu opera performances, and forged friendships with the locals. The trip became not about seeing, but about experiencing. By not trying to control every moment, Julia found herself immersed in authentic experiences that no itinerary could have offered. It was an embodiment of Wu Wei, moving effortlessly with the flow of life. These stories, spanning different domains, echo a singular truth. There exists a magic in not forcing outcomes, in understanding when to act and when to yield. They highlight the harmony that arises when humans, despite their innate desire to control and predict, align themselves with the more organic, often serendipitous flow of existence. Whether in the throes of innovation, the swirl of creativity, the adrenaline of sports, or the unpredictability of personal journeys, the principles of Wu Wei shimmer through, teaching us timeless lessons about balance, patience, and the unparalleled beauty of letting things be. In the dizzying whirlwind of our modern age, where the relentless drumbeat for ceaseless effort and pursuit resonates in every corner, lies a profound, almost radical counter-narrative, the gentle whisper of Wu Wei, beckoning us towards the allure of effortlessness. It feels almost audacious, this idea of non-doing, especially when set against the backdrop of a world that equates busyness with worth and hustle with success. Yet, as we've traversed the vast landscapes of history, business, art, sports, and personal stories, a resonant theme emerges. It's the discovery that, paradoxically, it's in the spaces between our actions, in our pauses, in our yielding, that the true essence of life often reveals itself. It's in recognizing that sometimes the most potent action is in not acting, in allowing life's river to carry us forward, rather than tirelessly swimming against the current. However, this isn't a call for passivity or an invitation to abandon our goals and aspirations. On the contrary, it's a nuanced dance between knowing when to lead and when to follow, between steering the ship and letting the winds guide us. It's about redefining our understanding of success, not as the destination arrived at through sheer force, but as the journey undertaken with grace, alignment, and intuitive wisdom. In the grand tapestry of existence, where each thread represents a decision, a chance, a fate, there lies a timeless wisdom that has echoed through the ages. It is a wisdom that speaks not of the stars aligning for us, but of us aligning with the stars, of finding harmony in the chaos, of discovering peace in turmoil. This wisdom, rooted in the ancient Stoic philosophy and later echoed by the profound musings of existential thinkers, is a call to embrace our destiny, to love our fate, not as a burden, but as a gift of immeasurable value. The concept known as amor fati is not just a philosophical idea but a way of life. It is a viewpoint that transforms the inevitable into the invitable, the challenges into opportunities, the trials into triumphs. The Stoic philosophers, like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius, viewed it as a path to tranquility. For them, the art of living was not in controlling what happens to us, but in controlling how we respond. This notion, deeply embedded in their teachings, was a beacon of resilience, a testament to the human spirit's unyielding strength in the face of life's unpredictability. But what does it truly mean to love one's fate? Is it an unconditional acceptance of all that life presents? Or is it a deeper recognition of the role each event plays in shaping who we are? To understand this, we delve into the rich tapestry of history, where this idea has surfaced in various forms. In ancient Greek tragedies, it was the hero's journey of accepting their destiny. In the spiritual texts of the East, it echoed in the teachings of embracing life's flow. And in the modern existentialist movement, it re-emerged, challenging individuals to find meaning in the absurdity of existence. Friedrich Nietzsche, the renowned philosopher, rekindled interest in this concept with his passionate writings. He saw in this ancient idea a powerful antidote to the nihilism and despair of the modern age. For Nietzsche, to love one's fate was to affirm life, to say yes to existence in all its forms, joy and sorrow, success and failure, life and death. It was a radical acceptance that transformed every moment into an expression of will, a dance with destiny. This philosophy, however, extends beyond the realm of abstract thought. It finds its place in the very real and tangible world of psychology and personal development. In the challenges we face, the setbacks we endure, and the victories we celebrate, there is an opportunity to practice this philosophy. It is in the acceptance of what we cannot change and the courage to change what we can that the essence of this idea comes alive. In modern psychological terms, it aligns with the concepts of resilience, acceptance, and positive reframing. It resonates with the teachings of cognitive behavioral therapy, which emphasizes the power of mindset in overcoming life's hurdles. As we embark on this exploration, we will journey through the landscapes of history, philosophy, psychology, and real-life application. We will uncover how this ancient wisdom can be a guiding light in our quest for personal growth and self-improvement. We will delve into the stories of those who have lived by this principle, drawing lessons from their experiences. These stories are not just tales of the past, but mirrors reflecting our own struggles and triumphs. Moreover, we will explore the practical aspects of this philosophy. How can we apply this in our daily lives? How can we train our minds to see the beauty in fate's design? This journey is not about passive acceptance, but active engagement with life. It is about transforming our perspective, about seeing the silver lining in every cloud, about finding the strength in vulnerability, about recognizing the wisdom in surrender. As we navigate through this exploration, we invite you to reflect on your own relationship with destiny. How do you respond to the unexpected turns of life? Do you resist or do you embrace? The answers to these questions are not just academic musings, but keys to unlocking a more fulfilling and resilient life. In this exploration, we will also address the criticisms and challenges of this philosophy. How does one balance acceptance with ambition? How does one embrace fate without falling into fatalism? These are questions that warrant thoughtful consideration, and we will seek to provide nuanced perspectives on them. Before we dive into the video, let us remember that this journey is not just about understanding a philosophical concept. It is about discovering a pathway to personal transformation. It is about learning to dance with the rhythm of life, to find harmony in dissonance, to turn the cacophony of chance into a symphony of serendipity. It is about embracing our destiny, not as a pre-written script, but as a canvas waiting for our brushstrokes. The roots of this philosophy take us back to ancient Stoicism, a school of thought born in the Hellenistic period. The Stoics, philosophers who valued virtue, wisdom, and emotional resilience, laid the groundwork for what would later be embraced as a profound love for one's fate. They believed in living in harmony with the natural order of the universe, accepting that certain things are beyond our control. Central to their teaching was the idea that our reactions to events are within our control, even if the events themselves are not. Stoicism's influence persisted through the centuries, shaping the thoughts of many who sought understanding in the face of life's vagaries. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher himself, penned meditations that have served as a guide for countless individuals seeking solace and strength. His words reflected a deep acceptance of the natural course of events, an understanding that the only true power we hold is over our own responses. Moving forward in time, the concept found a passionate advocate in Friedrich Nietzsche. His interpretation was both revolutionary and radical for the 19th century. Nietzsche, known for challenging the conventional norms of his time, saw in this ancient idea a powerful means to affirm life. For Nietzsche, it was not just about accepting what life offers, it was about loving it, about finding joy and meaning in every moment, every challenge, every triumph, and every defeat. His perspective was not one of passive acceptance, but of active engagement with life, a call to embrace all aspects of existence with enthusiasm and vigor. In Nietzsche's view, the embrace of one's fate was an act of personal power and freedom. It was a rejection of victimhood and a celebration of agency. He urged individuals to not only accept, but to love their fate, to see it as an essential part of their journey, an integral piece of their individual growth and self-realization. This view turned the concept into a dynamic, life-affirming philosophy. In contemporary life, the relevance of this philosophy is perhaps more pronounced than ever. In an era marked by rapid change and uncertainty, the ability to embrace the unexpected becomes a valuable skill. The modern world, with its complexities and challenges, often leads individuals to seek control over every aspect of their lives. However, this quest for control can be a source of great stress and anxiety when confronted with the inevitable unpredictability of life. Today, this Stoic wisdom offers a counter-narrative to the modern obsession with control. It suggests that there is strength in acceptance, power in adaptability, and wisdom in recognizing the limits of our control. In a world that often feels chaotic and unpredictable, the idea of loving one's fate becomes a source of stability and resilience. It encourages a mindset that looks for opportunities in challenges, that finds strength in adversity, and that sees growth in every experience. This philosophy also intersects with contemporary psychological practices. In the realms of cognitive behavioral therapy and mindfulness, there is an emphasis on acceptance and reframing one's perception of events. These practices, much like the Stoic teachings, advocate for a focus on our responses to events rather than the events themselves. They echo the idea that our power lies not in changing what happens to us, but in changing how we respond to it. Furthermore, in a society that often values individualism and personal achievement, this philosophy offers a different perspective. It suggests that personal growth and fulfillment can also be found in how we navigate the inevitable, how we dance with the rhythms of fate. This is not a call to passivity, but an invitation to engage with life more deeply, more meaningfully. As we explore this rich philosophical heritage, we begin to understand the timeless nature of these teachings. They offer insights that are as relevant today as they were in ancient times, providing guidance and wisdom for navigating the complexities of modern life. As we journey deeper into the exploration of fate and destiny, it's essential to define these terms from both philosophical and psychological standpoints. Philosophically, fate has often been viewed as a predetermined course of events beyond human control. It's an ancient concept present in numerous cultures and belief systems, where fate is seen as a cosmic script written by divine or natural forces. Destiny, on the other hand, is frequently interpreted as the ultimate outcome of one's life, a culmination of one's choices, actions, and inherent characteristics. While fate is often seen as set and unchangeable, destiny can be perceived as something more fluid, shaped by an individual's actions within the boundaries of fate. From a psychological perspective, these concepts take on a slightly different color. Modern psychology views fate and destiny not as external, deterministic forces, but as perceptions and beliefs about life in the future. In this view, fate is not a pre-written script, but rather a belief system that influences how individuals perceive and interact with the world. This perspective sees destiny as a construct of personal agency, a narrative we create that aligns with our values, goals, and actions. The distinction between fatalism and accepting fate is crucial in understanding the philosophy discussed earlier. Fatalism is often characterized by a sense of resignation, a belief that human efforts are futile against the predetermined course of events. This viewpoint can lead to passivity and a disengagement from active decision-making, as outcomes are seen as inevitable regardless of one's actions. Accepting fate, in the context of our discussion, is distinctly different. It is not about resigning oneself to an unchangeable future, but about embracing the uncontrollable aspects of life while exercising personal agency. This acceptance is an active choice, a stance that combines acknowledgement of life's unpredictability with a commitment to engage with it fully. The impact of one's attitude towards fate is profound and far-reaching. A perspective that embraces the uncontrollable elements of life can lead to a greater sense of peace and resilience. When individuals accept that certain things are beyond their control, they can redirect their energy and focus towards areas where they can make a difference. This shift in focus can lead to enhanced personal growth, greater emotional well-being, and a deeper sense of fulfillment. Conversely, a resistance to accepting the uncontrollable can result in chronic stress, frustration, and a feeling of helplessness. This perspective is echoed in many psychological approaches. For example, in cognitive behavioral therapy, there is an emphasis on understanding what can and cannot be controlled and learning to focus on the former. This approach aligns with the Stoic philosophy, where the serenity to accept things we cannot change, the courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference is a key tenet. In everyday life, this approach can manifest in various ways. It can mean accepting a sudden change in circumstances, such as a career shift or a personal loss, and finding ways to adapt and grow from these experiences. It can also mean recognizing the limits of our influence in relationships or societal issues and choosing to focus on our responses and contributions rather than trying to control the outcome. Furthermore, this acceptance does not equate to passivity. It is an active engagement with life, where one makes choices and takes actions within the framework of what is uncontrollable. This active engagement is a form of empowerment, a way of reclaiming agency in a world that often feels unpredictable and chaotic. As we consider these ideas, it becomes clear that our attitude towards fate and destiny is not just a philosophical or psychological concept. It is a practical approach to life, a strategy for emotional and mental well-being, and a pathway to personal fulfillment. By understanding and embracing these concepts, we can navigate life's uncertainties with greater resilience and purpose. The distinction and interplay between fate and destiny and our attitude towards them offer a rich ground for reflection. They challenge us to examine our beliefs, reassess our priorities, and redefine our approach to life's journey. Embracing fate, a concept deeply rooted in both philosophical thought and psychological practice, offers a myriad of benefits. Among these, resilience, stress reduction, and acceptance stand out as key elements that profoundly impact an individual's mental and emotional well-being. Resilience. The Stoic philosophers, renowned for their focus on inner strength and resilience, viewed the embrace of fate as a pathway to enduring life's hardships with grace and fortitude. This resilience is not about denying or avoiding difficulties, rather, it's about facing them head-on with a mindset geared towards growth and learning. In the Stoic view, challenges are opportunities to practice virtues like courage, patience, and wisdom. This perspective transforms obstacles into stepping stones, fostering a resilience that is both empowering and liberating. In modern psychological terms, resilience is understood as the ability to bounce back from adversity. It's about adapting well in the face of trauma, tragedy, threats, or significant sources of stress. When we embrace our fate, we develop a mindset that looks beyond the immediate discomfort or pain of a situation and sees the potential for personal growth and development. This shift in perspective is crucial in building resilience. It enables individuals to navigate through life's ups and downs with a sense of purpose and hope, rather than feeling victimized by their circumstances. Stress reduction. Stress, often a product of our resistance to what is, can be significantly reduced when we learn to embrace our fate. This concept aligns with modern psychological practices like mindfulness and cognitive behavioral therapy, which emphasize acceptance and living in the present moment. When we spend our energy fighting against things we cannot change, we create unnecessary stress for ourselves. By accepting and embracing these aspects of life, we reduce internal conflict and the physiological and psychological toll it takes. This does not mean passively resigning to whatever happens. Instead, it's about recognizing the difference between what we can control and what we can't, and choosing to respond to the latter with acceptance rather than resistance. This acceptance leads to a decrease in stress and anxiety as we let go of the struggle to control the uncontrollable. It allows us to focus our energy on what we can change, leading to more effective and efficient action. Acceptance, the path to inner peace. Acceptance, a central tenet of many philosophical and psychological schools of thought, is closely linked to the concept of embracing fate. It's about acknowledging the reality of a situation rather than denying or fighting it. This acceptance is not a sign of weakness, rather it's a sign of strength and wisdom. It allows us to see things as they are without the distortion of our fears, desires, or prejudices. In the realm of psychology, acceptance is a key component of therapies like acceptance and commitment therapy, ACT, which teaches individuals to accept their reactions and be present with what life brings, while committing to action that aligns with their values. This approach helps in reducing suffering, as fighting reality often leads to more pain and frustration. When we accept our fate, we open ourselves to experiencing life fully, without the constant struggle against reality. The synergy between philosophical and psychological aspects of embracing fate is evident. Philosophically, it offers a pathway to a more meaningful and fulfilling life, where challenges are seen as part of the human experience, essential for growth and development. Psychologically, it aligns with evidence-based practices that promote mental health and well-being. Embracing fate teaches us to find balance. It's about cultivating the wisdom to know when to act and when to let go. This balance is crucial in navigating life's complexities. It helps in building a life that is not only resilient and stress-free, but also rich in experiences and learning. As we integrate these philosophical and psychological insights into our lives, we begin to see a transformation. We become more resilient, less stressed, and more accepting of life's flow. This transformation is not just about personal growth, it's about living a life that is deeply connected to the world around us, a life that embraces all its shades and nuances with openness and grace. Building on the foundation of understanding the benefits of embracing fate, we now transition into practical applications. Cultivating mindfulness, the art of present living. Mindfulness, a practice rooted in ancient traditions and validated by modern psychology, is a powerful tool for embracing one's destiny. It involves paying attention to the present moment without judgment or resistance. This practice helps in cultivating an awareness that is deeply connected to the essence of amor fati, the acceptance and appreciation of life as it unfolds. To integrate mindfulness into daily life, one can start with simple practices like mindful breathing, where attention is focused on the breath, observing each inhalation and exhalation. This can be extended to other activities, such as eating, walking, or even engaging in conversation, by fully immersing oneself in the experience and being fully present. Over time, this practice of mindfulness fosters a deepened sense of connection with the present moment, reducing stress and enhancing one's capacity to embrace life's experiences. Reflective practices, gaining insight and clarity. Reflection is another key technique in practicing amor fati. It involves looking back on experiences, not with regret or resentment, but with an open mind, seeking to understand and learn. Journaling is an excellent reflective practice, offering a space to process thoughts and emotions and to explore the lessons hidden within life's events. Through regular reflection, one can develop a more profound understanding of how life's challenges and successes contribute to personal growth. Reflection can also involve contemplative practices such as meditation, or even engaging in thoughtful discussions with others. These practices encourage a deeper exploration of one's thoughts and feelings, leading to greater self-awareness and a heightened ability to embrace one's path. Embracing challenges, finding meaning in adversity. Life's challenges are often the crucibles within which the true essence of embracing fate is tested and refined. Finding meaning in adversity is a core aspect of this philosophy. It involves shifting perspective from seeing challenges as obstacles to viewing them as opportunities for growth and development. This shift can be facilitated by asking oneself questions like, "What can I learn from this situation?" or "How can this challenge help me grow?" Such questions open the door to finding value in even the most difficult circumstances. They encourage a proactive, rather than reactive approach to life's trials, aligning with the idea of actively engaging with one's fate. Creating rituals and routines. Establishing daily rituals and routines can help in embodying the principles of amor fati. These can be simple actions, like starting the day with a moment of gratitude or ending it with a reflection on the day's events. Such rituals serve as constant reminders of one's commitment to embracing life fully and can be powerful tools in fostering a mindset aligned with amor fati. Cultivating resilience through positive reframing. Positive reframing is a technique often used in cognitive behavioral therapy, and it's highly relevant in practicing amor fati. It involves altering one's perception of events to find the positive aspects or the potential for positive outcomes. This doesn't mean ignoring the negative, but rather choosing to focus on the constructive elements of a situation. By positively reframing experiences, one builds resilience and a more adaptive approach to life's challenges. Engaging in self-compassion. Self-compassion is an integral part of embracing one's destiny. It involves treating oneself with kindness and understanding, especially in times of difficulty or failure. Practicing self-compassion means acknowledging that suffering and imperfection are part of the human experience. By extending compassion to oneself, individuals can better embrace their life path, accepting both their strengths and weaknesses. Continuous learning and growth. Finally, the practice of amor fati is an ongoing process of learning and growth. It involves an open-minded approach to life, where one is always ready to learn from new experiences and perspectives. This can involve reading, exploring new hobbies, traveling, or engaging in educational opportunities. Continuous learning and growth are essential in fully embracing one's destiny, as they provide new lenses through which to view and experience life. Through these practical strategies and techniques, we can see how the philosophy of embracing one's fate can be woven into the fabric of everyday life. These practices not only enhance personal well-being, but also contribute to a more fulfilling and meaningful life journey. Now I want us to explore the profound lessons from famous philosophers and how their insights into embracing fate are relevant to modern life and personal development. Friedrich Nietzsche, Embracing Life as It Is. Friedrich Nietzsche's perspective on life and fate is one of the most compelling in modern philosophy. His assertion, "My formula for greatness in a human being is that one wants nothing to be different, not forward, not backward, not in all eternity," encapsulates a radical acceptance of life in its entirety. This perspective goes beyond mere acceptance. It's a fervent love for every aspect of life, including pain, struggle, and joy. Applying Nietzsche's philosophy in contemporary settings involves a bold affirmation of life's experiences. It's about finding value in every moment and seeing challenges as integral to personal growth and development. In the context of personal development, this approach encourages individuals to approach life's uncertainties with curiosity and openness rather than fear and resistance. It teaches that true greatness and fulfillment lie not in changing our circumstances, but in transforming our attitude towards them. Marcus Aurelius, The Stoic Embrace of Fate. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, offered a perspective that intertwines personal virtue with the acceptance of fate. His advice to accept the things to which fate binds you and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart, provides a blueprint for finding harmony and contentment in life's given circumstances. In the hustle of modern life, Aurelius's words remind us of the importance of accepting what we cannot change and finding joy in our relationships and experiences. This stoic acceptance does not imply passivity. Rather, it's an active engagement with life, focusing on nurturing the relationships and opportunities that fate presents. For personal development, Aurelius's philosophy teaches the value of presence, gratitude, and the pursuit of virtue in daily life. Epictetus, Wanting Life as It Happens. Epictetus, another influential Stoic philosopher, taught that the key to well-being lies in desiring things as they occur. Do not seek to have events happen as you want them to, but instead want them to happen as they do happen, and your life will go well. This profound insight suggests that the secret to a fulfilling life is aligning our desires with reality, rather than resisting what life brings. In contemporary terms, Epictetus's philosophy underscores the importance of adaptability and acceptance. For personal growth, it encourages a mindset shift from trying to control life to adapting to it. This approach enhances resilience, reduces stress, and fosters a more harmonious interaction with the world. By wanting life as it happens, individuals can find peace and purpose, even in the midst of chaos and uncertainty. The philosophies of these great thinkers offer timeless wisdom that is strikingly relevant to the challenges of modern life. In an era where change is constant and uncertainty is a given, their teachings provide a roadmap for navigating life with grace, resilience, and purpose. Applying their lessons involves a conscious shift in perspective, seeing life's unpredictability not as a series of obstacles but as opportunities for growth and self-discovery. It requires a mindset that values growth over comfort, learning over security, and personal virtue over external success. In practical terms, this can mean approaching life's challenges with curiosity and openness rather than fear or resistance. Cultivating gratitude and presence in daily experiences, especially in relationships and small joys. Practicing adaptability, aligning our desires and actions with the reality of our circumstances. Seeking growth and learning in every experience, using life's lessons as stepping stones for personal development. The integration of these philosophical insights into daily life promises not just a more resilient and stress-free existence, but a deeply fulfilling and meaningful journey. As we embrace the wisdom of these philosophers, we learn to navigate life's complexity with a sense of clarity, purpose, and peace. Imagine you're trying to fall asleep, but the more you try, the more awake you feel. Or think about a time when you were so focused on making a good impression that you ended up feeling awkward and out of place. This common experience, where our efforts seem to backfire, is not just a quirk of human behavior. It's a fundamental paradox that has intrigued thinkers and philosophers for centuries. It's the idea that sometimes, the harder we try to achieve something, the more elusive it becomes. This paradox is not just a passing thought, but a profound insight into the human condition, one that has been explored in depth by the great Russian novelist and philosopher Fyodor Dostoevsky. This legendary novelist stands as a titan in the worlds of literature, philosophy, and psychology. His works, profound and penetrating, explore the darkest and most complex depths of the human psyche. But it's through the lens of what we'll call the paradox of effort, where his insights truly resonate with modern dilemmas of striving and ambition. Born in 1821 in Moscow, Dostoevsky's life was as dramatic and turbulent as his novels. His experiences, ranging from a near execution to the throes of epilepsy, shaped his understanding of human suffering and resilience. His narratives aren't just stories, they are explorations into the human condition, dissecting the psyche with a precision that predates the formal study of psychology. Dostoevsky's impact on philosophy and psychology is profound. His characters, trapped in webs of existential crises, moral dilemmas, and social alienation, serve as case studies for understanding complex human behaviors and mental processes. They are more than mere fictional beings, they are embodiments of psychological archetypes, making his work timeless in its relevance. Central to our discussion is the paradox of effort. This concept challenges the conventional wisdom that more effort leads to greater success. Instead, Dostoevsky's narratives suggest that sometimes intense striving can lead to adverse outcomes, a theme deeply embedded in our own lives and contemporary psychology. In Notes from Underground, the protagonist's relentless introspection and resistance to societal norms lead not to enlightenment, but to a kind of existential paralysis. In Crime and Punishment, Raskolnikov's efforts to transcend conventional morality result in a spiral of guilt and psychological turmoil. And in The Idiot, Prince Mishkin's quest for absolute goodness collides with the flawed realities of the society around him, illustrating the complexities and often tragic consequences of unyielding idealism. These narratives are not just literary explorations, but reflections of a universal human experience. They highlight the nuanced relationship between our actions, intentions, and the unforeseen consequences that can arise from our most earnest efforts. As we delve into the paradoxical world of Dostoevsky, we find ourselves confronting the question: can our relentless pursuit of a goal become our own undoing? The answer lies not just in the pages of his novels, but in the very fabric of our daily lives and psychological makeup. In this exploration, we will bridge the gap between Dostoevsky's 19th century Russia and our contemporary world, drawing parallels and deriving insights that are as relevant today as they were over a century ago. Through his eyes, we will examine the delicate balance between effort and outcome, ambition and restraint, and how understanding this balance can inform our journey towards self-improvement and psychological understanding. As we embark on this exploration, remember that his works are not just stories from a bygone era. They are a mirror, reflecting the timeless and often contradictory nature of our own pursuits and desires. Join me in this journey of unraveling the paradox of effort through the philosophy of Fyodor Dostoevsky, where each page turns to reveal deeper layers of the human experience. The paradox of effort, at its core, presents an intriguing contradiction. In the realm of self-development and psychology, it's the idea that our intense efforts to achieve a goal can sometimes backfire, leading to the very outcomes we were striving to avoid. This paradox challenges the conventional narrative of the harder you work, the more you succeed, suggesting that in some situations, too much effort can be counterproductive. This concept is not just theoretical. It finds its roots in various psychological theories and real-life scenarios. In psychology, for instance, there's a phenomenon known as over-justification effect. This effect occurs when an external incentive, like a reward, diminishes a person's intrinsic motivation to perform a task. Essentially, when we try too hard to achieve something, especially for external rewards, our intrinsic motivation dwindles, and the task itself becomes less enjoyable and meaningful. Furthermore, in the domain of cognitive psychology, there's the concept of analysis paralysis, a state where overthinking a situation can cause decision-making to become frozen. This is a classic example of the paradox of effort, where the more effort we put into making the perfect decision, the less capable we become of making any decision at all. But how does this translate into everyday life? Consider a common scenario. A person trying to impress in a social situation. The more effort they put into appearing likable or funny, the more likely they are to come across as try-hard or insincere, ultimately achieving the opposite of their intended effect. Another example can be found in the realm of creativity. Many artists and writers have spoken about the moments when their best work flows not through intense effort, but when they are in a state of relaxation, almost as if the work is creating itself. This aligns with Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi's concept of flow, a state of effortless immersion in a task, where creativity blossoms not from strenuous effort, but from a kind of spontaneous engagement. Philosophically, this paradox can be tied back to ancient ideas. In Taoism, for example, there's the concept of wu-wei, which translates to non-action or effortless action. It's the idea that the best way to approach tasks and life is not through forceful effort, but through a kind of harmonious and spontaneous engagement with the world. This ancient wisdom echoes through Dostoevsky's narratives, where characters often find themselves ensnared in their struggles, partly due to their forceful efforts to control their destinies. Another philosophical connection can be made with the existentialist notion of bad faith, as articulated by Jean-Paul Sartre. Bad faith occurs when individuals deceive themselves to avoid facing the full responsibility of their choices. In the context of the paradox of effort, this can be seen when people overexert themselves in roles or tasks, not out of genuine engagement, but as a way to escape confronting their authentic desires or existential anxieties. In exploring these various dimensions of the paradox of effort, we begin to see a pattern: the importance of balance and authenticity in our endeavors. It's not a call to abandon effort, but to recognize the nuanced dynamics between our actions, intentions, and their sometimes unpredictable outcomes. This understanding is crucial in the field of self-development, where the emphasis is often on relentless effort and goal attainment. Recognizing the paradoxical nature of effort encourages a more holistic approach, where success is not just about the external achievements, but also about internal harmony and authenticity. As we transition from the theoretical to the practical, it becomes clear that understanding the paradox of effort is not just an intellectual exercise. It's a key to unlocking a more balanced, effective, and fulfilling approach to personal growth and development. By acknowledging that sometimes less is more, we open ourselves to a more intuitive and harmonious way of living, where effort and ease coexist, leading to more sustainable and satisfying outcomes. Now we will delve into Dostoevsky's masterpieces, Notes from Underground, Crime and Punishment, and The Idiot, to see how these themes play out in the lives of his characters. Through their stories, we will explore the depths of the human psyche, the intricacies of the paradox of effort, and the timeless lessons they hold for our own journeys of self-improvement. Notes from Underground, written by Dostoevsky in 1864, is a pioneering work that delves deep into the psychological landscape of its protagonist, known as the underground man. This novella is split into two parts. The first is a monologue in which the underground man introduces his philosophy, and the second illustrates these ideas through his interactions with society. The novella's main themes revolve around the ideas of free will, determinism, and the nature of human consciousness. The underground man, living in self-imposed isolation, grapples with his own paradoxical desires and the absurdities of society. He represents a man in conflict with himself and the world, embodying the very essence of the paradox of effort. One of the most striking aspects of Notes from Underground is the underground man's acute self-awareness, coupled with his inability to act in his own best interest. He is aware of his paradoxical nature as he states, "I swear, gentlemen, that to be overly conscious is a sickness, a real thorough sickness." This hyperconsciousness leads him to overanalyze every situation, leaving him paralyzed and incapable of genuine action. The paradox in his behavior is evident when he describes his interactions with others. He longs for connection, yet he sabotages any chance of it through his spite and cynicism. He says, "I reached a point where I not only felt, but even began to cherish a boundless hatred for all mankind." This self-sabotage is a direct result of his excessive effort to assert his individuality and intellect, which only deepens his isolation and misery. A key passage reflecting the paradox of effort is when the underground man discusses his desire for suffering. He states, "Suffering is the sole origin of consciousness. Here, Dostoevsky suggests that the character's conscious choice to suffer is an attempt to affirm his existence and freedom. However, this deliberate suffering becomes a form of self-imposed tyranny, illustrating how his efforts to assert his freedom ironically lead to his own enslavement. Another crucial moment is when he confronts Liza, a prostitute, with whom he initially seeks a connection. He tells her, "You will always be unhappy," projecting his own misery onto her. In this interaction, his effort to find some semblance of power and superiority culminates in a realization of his own pitiable state. His efforts to elevate himself only serve to plunge him deeper into self-loathing and regret. Notes from Underground is a profound exploration of the human condition, delving into the complexities of free will, the search for meaning, and the pitfalls of excessive introspection. The Underground Man is a character who embodies the paradox of effort in its most extreme form. His constant over-effort to assert his intelligence and individuality only leads to greater suffering and isolation. Through this narrative, Dostoevsky challenges us to consider the consequences of our own efforts, especially when they are driven by ego, spite, or a desire to distinguish ourselves from others. The novella serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of excessive introspection and the importance of genuine connection and simplicity in life. As we reflect on the Underground Man's story, we begin to understand the subtle yet profound implications of the paradox of effort in our own lives. It prompts us to question the motives behind our actions and the potential consequences of our relentless striving for individuality and recognition. Crime and Punishment, published in 1866, is often regarded as one of Fyodor Dostoevsky's greatest works. Set in St. Petersburg, the novel focuses on the life of Rodion Raskolnikov, a former student who commits a murder, driven by a complex blend of motives and ideas. The story is not just a tale of crime and its consequences, but a deep psychological study of the protagonist's mind and moral dilemma. Raskolnikov's character is an intricate study in the paradox of effort. His intellectual efforts lead him to formulate a theory that divides humanity into ordinary and extraordinary people. He convinces himself that extraordinary people have the right to transgress moral boundaries to achieve their purposes, famously justifying his theory by saying, "The extraordinary have the right to commit any crime and to transgress the law in any way, just because they are extraordinary." This theory leads Raskolnikov to murder an unscrupulous pawnbroker, rationalizing it as a service to society. However, the act plunges him into a psychological crisis, underpinning the novel's exploration of guilt, redemption, and the moral consequences of one's actions. The paradox of effort is vividly displayed here. His intellectual endeavor to justify his actions only deepens his sense of guilt and alienation. Dostoevsky masterfully portrays Raskolnikov's internal conflict and gradual unraveling. Post-murder, Raskolnikov fluctuates between self-justification and profound guilt. He reflects, "I wanted to become a Napoleon, that is why I killed her. Do you understand now?" This confession highlights the paradox. His effort to assert his superiority and theoretical beliefs only leads him to moral degradation and self-loathing. The novel also explores the theme of redemption tied to effort. Raskolnikov's path to redemption is not through further intellectual justification, but through acceptance of his guilt and empathy for others. His interactions with Sonia, a character symbolizing compassion and moral integrity, play a crucial role in his journey. She tells him, "Accept suffering and achieve atonement through it. That is what you must do." Crime and Punishment is not merely a story about a crime, it's an exploration of the psychological turmoil and moral dilemmas that follow. Dostoevsky uses Raskolnikov's character to dissect the complexities of the human conscience, the dangers of unchecked intellectual arrogance, and the redemptive power of suffering and empathy. Raskolnikov's journey is a stark illustration of the paradox of effort. His intellectual efforts to elevate himself above societal norms and morals lead not to freedom and power, but to psychological torment and a desperate need for atonement. His realization and acceptance of his guilt, coupled with the humbling power of empathy and love, ultimately paved the way for his redemption. This novel compels us to reflect on our own moral compass and the implications of our actions, especially when driven by a misguided sense of superiority or a flawed theoretical framework. It underscores the importance of empathy, humility, and the acceptance of our fallibility as key components in our journey towards moral and psychological integrity. Fyodor Dostoevsky's The Idiot, a masterpiece in the canon of Russian literature, stands as a profound exploration of innocence and morality amidst a society marked by cynicism and manipulation. The novel's protagonist, Prince Lev Nikolaevich Mishkin, returns to Russia from a Swiss sanatorium and is thrust into a complex web of social relations, love entanglements, and moral dilemmas. Prince Mishkin is the epitome of Dostoevsky's exploration of the paradox of effort. His character is not just an embodiment of innocence, but also a representation of the struggles that come with trying to maintain this purity in a society that is often anything but pure. Mishkin's condition, which includes episodes of epilepsy, is symbolic of his heightened sensitivity to the world around him. His perspective is one of unguarded honesty and a deep, almost naive empathy for others. Dostoevsky introduces Mishkin with a sense of innate goodness, as someone who sees the world without the cynicism that characterizes many of the novel's other characters. He describes Mishkin as someone who, perhaps precisely because of his illness, had stepped over life's trivialities, a line that encapsulates the prince's otherworldly perspective. However, this unguarded innocence and desire to do good often lead Mishkin into challenging situations, illustrating the paradox of effort in a stark light. His interactions with Nastasia Filipovna and Aglaya Ivanovna, two central female characters, are particularly telling. Nastasia, tormented and self-destructive, becomes an object of Mishkin's compassion, while Aglaya represents a possibility of normalcy and mutual affection. Mishkin's attempts to navigate these relationships, grounded in his moral convictions and desire to help, often result in misunderstandings and heartache. A critical moment in the novel is Mishkin's confrontation with Rogojin, a character who represents many of the darker aspects of human nature that Mishkin seems immune to. The tension between them symbolizes the clash between innocence and corruption, idealism and pragmatism. In a pivotal scene, Mishkin states, "I believe in the virtue of suffering," highlighting his almost Christ-like capacity for empathy and self-sacrifice. Mishkin's interactions with the broader society further expose the challenges of maintaining innocence in a corrupt world. His honest and straightforward demeanor often leaves him vulnerable to manipulation and ridicule. The society in which Mishkin finds himself is one where duplicity, greed, and power play dominate, starkly contrasting with his own values of honesty and genuine empathy. Dostoevsky's portrayal of Mishkin raises poignant questions about the nature of goodness and its place in society. The prince's purity, rather than being a source of strength, often becomes a liability, leading to misinterpretation and exploitation by those around him. The novel thus presents a complex picture of the struggle between goodness and the realities of societal interaction. As Mishkin's story unfolds, we see the tragic unraveling of a man whose efforts to live a life of moral integrity increasingly alienate him from the world he seeks to improve. His fate is a powerful illustration of Dostoevsky's exploration of the paradox of effort. The more Mishkin strives to uphold his ideals of goodness and honesty, the more he finds himself entangled in situations that betray these very ideals. The novel culminates in a series of tragic events that underscore the fragility of innocence in a morally ambiguous world. Mishkin's journey, marked by his efforts to remain true to his principles, ends in a poignant realization of the limits of his idealism. His descent into a state of mental disarray is a testament to the overwhelming burden of trying to reconcile his purity with the complexities of the world around him. In The Idiot, Dostoevsky not only crafts a narrative about the struggles of an innocent man in a corrupt world, but also offers a deep meditation on the nature of human morality, the challenges of maintaining integrity, and the often tragic consequences of our efforts to do so. The novel stands as a profound exploration of the human condition, the complexities of social interaction, and the delicate balance between innocence and the pragmatic demands of society. The insights gleaned from The Idiot are as relevant today as they were in Dostoevsky's time. They challenge us to consider the place of purity and moral integrity in our own lives and the broader societal context. The paradox of effort, as illustrated through Mishkin's story, serves as a powerful reminder of the complexities of human nature and the unpredictable outcomes of our noblest intentions. As we conclude our journey through Dostoevsky's The Idiot, we are left to ponder the delicate dance between our aspirations for moral goodness and the realities of the world we inhabit. The novel not only reflects the timeless struggles of humanity, but also offers a deep well of wisdom from which we can draw insights into our own lives and the pursuit of personal and moral development. Fyodor Dostoevsky's literature offers a profound philosophical exploration of human nature. His works, dense with existential questions and moral dilemmas, probe the depths of the human psyche, challenging our understanding of free will, morality, and the essence of the human condition. Central to his exploration of human nature is the theme of existentialism. Existentialism, a philosophical movement that emphasizes individual existence, freedom, and choice, is a lens through which Dostoevsky examines the complexities of the human soul. His characters frequently grapple with existential crises, often manifested in their struggle to find meaning in a seemingly indifferent world. The paradox of effort, as highlighted in his works, ties intricately with existentialist themes. His characters' intense efforts to assert their existential freedom often lead them to outcomes that contradict their intentions. This paradox mirrors the existentialist view that while humans are free to choose, they are also burdened by the responsibility and consequences of those choices. In Notes from Underground, the underground man's hyper-consciousness and his consequent paralysis is a striking example of existential despair. He recognizes the absurdity of life and his freedom to act, but is overwhelmed by this freedom, leading to inaction and self-loathing. His efforts to assert his free will only deepen his sense of powerlessness and alienation. Dostoevsky's exploration of free will and morality is another cornerstone of his philosophical insights. His characters often find themselves at moral crossroads, where their choices have profound implications for their destiny. Raskolnikov in Crime and Punishment is the embodiment of this struggle. His decision to murder, based on a theory of moral exceptionalism, sets him on a path of intense moral conflict and psychological torment. His journey reflects the existentialist view that we are condemned to be free. Our choices define us, yet they also confine us within the consequences they unleash. This conflict between free will and morality is further explored in The Idiot. Prince Mishkin's attempts to live a life of pure goodness in a flawed world highlight the tension between moral idealism and the practicalities of human society. His purity, a result of his exercise of free will, clashes with the world's complexities, underscoring the existential dilemma of striving to maintain moral integrity in an imperfect world. Finally, Dostoevsky's portrayal of the human condition is steeped in existentialist thought. His characters often embody the existential idea of the absurd, the conflict between the human tendency to seek inherent value and meaning in life, and the inability to find any in a chaotic, indifferent universe. The underground man, Raskolnikov and Mishkin, each in their way, face this absurdity. Their struggles and inner turmoil reflect the human condition's intrinsic quest for meaning, the burden of freedom, and the inevitable confrontation with the absurdity of existence. Dostoevsky uses these characters and their narratives to delve into existential questions about the nature of suffering, the search for meaning, and the inevitability of death. He does not provide easy answers. Instead, he presents the struggle itself as a fundamental aspect of the human condition. His works suggest that it is through this struggle, through grappling with the paradoxes of effort, freedom, and morality, that we come closer to understanding the essence of our existence. In synthesizing Dostoevsky's philosophical insights, it becomes evident that his exploration of human nature is deeply rooted in existentialist thought. His characters, caught in the web of their existential dilemmas, reflect the paradoxes and complexities of the human condition. Through their struggles, Dostoevsky invites us to ponder the nature of freedom, the burden of choice, and the quest for meaning in an often incomprehensible world. His works challenge us to confront the realities of our existence, the dissonance between our aspirations and our actions, the tension between moral idealism and practical living, and the endless quest for meaning in a world that offers no absolute answers. Dostoevsky's profound exploration of these themes not only cements his status as a literary genius, but also as a timeless philosopher whose insights continue to resonate with the existential questions of modern life. As we move forward in our exploration, we carry with us the rich tapestry of Dostoevsky's insights into human nature. His works, a mirror to our innermost struggles and aspirations, offer invaluable lessons for our journey of self-improvement and understanding of the paradox of effort. Fyodor Dostoevsky's literary works, rich with psychological and existential depth, provide valuable lessons for personal development. His exploration of the human psyche, especially the themes of effort, limitations, and personal growth, offers a unique perspective on self-improvement. One of the first steps in self-development, as gleaned from Dostoevsky's work, is understanding and embracing one's limitations. His characters often face the consequences of overstepping their boundaries, whether it be the underground man's paralysis by overanalysis or Raskolnikov's moral downfall. These narratives underscore the importance of recognizing our limitations. Recognizing our limitations is not a sign of weakness, but an acknowledgement of our human condition. It involves understanding our strengths and weaknesses, our tendencies towards certain behaviors, and the unique challenges we face. This self-awareness is crucial in setting realistic goals and developing strategies that align with our capabilities and circumstances. In practical terms, embracing limitations can involve setting achievable goals, acknowledging areas where we need help or improvement, and avoiding the trap of comparing ourselves with others. It means understanding that perfection is an unattainable ideal, and that growth often comes from acknowledging and working within our constraints. Dostoevsky's work also speaks to the importance of balancing effort with acceptance. The paradox of effort, as seen in his characters, reveals that relentless striving without self-awareness can lead to counterproductive outcomes. The key lies in finding a balance between working towards our goals and accepting our current state. This balance can be achieved through mindful effort, putting in the necessary work towards our goals while being aware of our mental and emotional state. It involves recognizing when our efforts are leading to diminishing returns, or when they're driven by unhealthy motives like ego, fear, or external validation. Mindfulness practices, such as meditation or reflective journaling, can be instrumental in maintaining this balance. They help in developing an awareness of our thoughts and actions, allowing us to discern when our efforts are aligned with our goals and values, and when they are not. In personal development, acceptance plays a crucial role. It involves accepting our current situation, including our failures and shortcomings, as part of our growth journey. This acceptance is not about resignation, but about recognizing the reality of our situation and using it as a starting point for improvement. Based on Dostoevsky's insights, here are some practical tips for personal growth. 1. Reflect on your motives. Regularly assess why you are pursuing certain goals. Are they driven by intrinsic values or external pressures? Understanding your motives can help align your efforts with what truly matters to you. 2. Set realistic goals. Align your goals with your abilities and circumstances. Unrealistic goals can lead to frustration and burnout. Break down larger goals into smaller, manageable tasks to maintain motivation and progress. 3. Embrace failure as a learning opportunity. Failure is an inevitable part of growth. Instead of viewing it as a setback, see it as a chance to learn and improve. Reflect on what went wrong and how you can do better next time. 4. Cultivate self-compassion. Be kind to yourself in your self-improvement journey. Acknowledge your efforts, even when they don't lead to the desired outcome, and treat yourself with the same compassion you would offer a friend. 5. Practice mindfulness. Engage in activities that enhance your self-awareness. Mindfulness can help you stay grounded and focused, and recognize when to push forward and when to step back. 6. Seek feedback and support. Don't hesitate to seek advice and support from others. Feedback can provide new perspectives and help you recognize blind spots in your self-improvement journey. 7. Balance routine with flexibility. While a routine can provide structure, be flexible to adapt to changing circumstances. Flexibility allows you to respond to unexpected challenges and opportunities for growth. 8. Prioritize mental and emotional well-being. Ensure that your pursuit of goals does not come at the cost of your mental and emotional health. Regularly engage in activities that promote relaxation and rejuvenation. By applying these strategies, inspired by Dostoevsky's insights, we can approach self-improvement in a more balanced, self-aware, and effective manner. These approaches not only foster personal growth, but also contribute to a deeper understanding of ourselves and our place in the world. In our rush to do everything faster, we end up doing everything worse. Carl Honore. In a world that moves at breakneck speed, where the tick of the clock dictates our lives and the buzz of technology constantly interrupts our thoughts, it's easy to lose sight of the art of living itself. This is where the philosophy of slow living steps in, a gentle yet powerful reminder that there is more to life than just racing to the finish line. As Carl Honoré, a vocal advocate of the slow movement, eloquently put it, in our rush to do everything faster, we end up doing everything worse. This simple statement encapsulates the essence of slow living, a philosophy that encourages us to break free from the shackles of haste and urgency and embrace a life lived with intention, mindfulness, and a deep appreciation for the present moment. At its core, slow living is not about doing everything at a snail's pace. Rather, it's about finding the right speed to do things with purpose, quality, and a deeper sense of satisfaction. It's a philosophy that challenges the modern narrative of more is better, urging us to step back and question our relentless pursuit of efficiency and speed. This lifestyle choice is a conscious effort to decelerate the pace of our lives, allowing us to breathe, reflect, and engage more fully with our surroundings and our inner selves. The idea of slow living stems from the slow food movement, which began in Italy in the 1980s as a protest against the opening of a fast food restaurant in Rome. This movement, which prioritized local food traditions and sustainable agriculture, soon blossomed into a global crusade against the homogenization of culture and the relentless pace of modern life. Today, the concept of slow living has seeped into various aspects of our lives, from slow travel and slow fashion to slow parenting and slow education, each advocating for a more measured, mindful, and sustainable approach to these areas. Slow living is, in many ways, a personal journey, a path that leads to greater self-awareness and a more harmonious relationship with time. It encourages us to pause and savor life's simple pleasures, to engage in activities that bring joy and fulfillment, and to cultivate relationships that are meaningful and enduring. It's about making a conscious choice to prioritize quality over quantity, to value experiences over possessions, and to find beauty in the ordinary and the everyday. Embracing slow living doesn't mean rejecting technology or modern conveniences. Rather, it's about using them in a way that enhances our lives without dominating them. It's about finding balance in a world that often seems unbalanced, about rediscovering the rhythm that resonates with our individual spirit and aligns with our personal values and aspirations. In this context, slow living becomes an act of rebellion, a way to reclaim control over our time and our lives. It's a statement against the culture of instant gratification and perpetual busyness that defines much of our modern existence. By choosing to live slowly, we are choosing to live deliberately, to make room for growth, creativity, and a deeper connection with the world around us. As we delve into the various facets of slow living, we will explore how this philosophy can be applied to different areas of our lives. From the way we eat and the way we work, to the way we play and the way we rest, slow living offers a blueprint for a life that is richer, more meaningful, and more in tune with the natural rhythms of the world. Let's embark on this journey together, a journey towards a life that is not measured by the number of breaths we take, but by the moments that take our breath away. Let's discover the art of slow living, one mindful step at a time. Lesson 1. Embracing daily rituals. Do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment. Buddha. This timeless wisdom echoes profoundly in the context of our first exploration in the journey of slow living. Embracing daily rituals. Rituals, often perceived as mundane or routine, are in fact powerful tools that can anchor us in the present, providing structure, comfort, and a sense of grounding in our fast-paced lives. In a world where constant change and uncertainty seem to be the only constants, establishing daily rituals becomes an act of self-care and mindfulness. These rituals need not be elaborate. They can be as simple as a morning cup of coffee savored in silence, a short walk in the park, or the nightly routine of reading before bed. The key lies in their regularity and the intention behind them. When we engage in these rituals, we are not just performing tasks, we are consciously creating moments in our day that are ours alone, untouched by the external demands of the world. These rituals serve as anchors, holding us steady in the swirling currents of our busy lives. They give us something to look forward to, a moment of calm in the storm. When we start our day with a ritual, we set the tone for the hours that follow. Similarly, ending our day with a ritual helps us unwind and prepare for restful sleep. In these moments, we find a rare opportunity to pause, reflect, and connect with ourselves. This connection is vital for our mental and emotional well-being, offering a chance to check in with our inner selves, to align our actions with our values, and to find joy in the simplicity of the moment. These daily rituals are not just about self-reflection, they also have the power to transform our perception of time. In a society that values productivity above all else, where every minute is expected to be filled with purpose and achievement, rituals allow us to reclaim time for ourselves. They teach us that not every moment needs to be productive in the conventional sense. Some moments can simply be about being, experiencing the world around us, savoring the sensations of the present, and acknowledging our existence in its fullest form. Creating meaningful routines in our daily life also helps us cultivate a sense of stability and normalcy, especially in times of stress or upheaval. When the world around us feels chaotic and unpredictable, our rituals can be a source of comfort and reliability. They remind us that, despite the ever-changing nature of life, there are still aspects that are within our control, our actions, our thoughts, and how we choose to spend our time. As we integrate these rituals into our lives, we may find that they evolve and change just as we do. What once brought us peace and joy may no longer resonate in the same way, and that's okay. The beauty of rituals lies in their fluidity. They can be adapted, modified, and reinvented to suit our current needs and circumstances. The important thing is to remain mindful and intentional about them, to recognize their value in our journey towards slow living. Embracing daily rituals is about more than just creating routines. It's about crafting a life that is intentional, mindful, and deeply connected to the present. It's about recognizing that in the ordinary, we can find the extraordinary, and in the mundane, the magical. Lesson 2: The beauty of simplicity. Life is really simple, but we insist on making it complicated. Confucius. In this age of consumerism and information overload, where abundance and complexity are often mistaken for success and happiness, the call for simplicity becomes not just a whisper but a resonating demand for a return to the basics. Simplifying life to focus on what truly matters is an art in itself, a conscious stripping away of the non-essential to make space for the essential. At the heart of simplicity lies the concept of minimalism, not just as an aesthetic choice but as a mindset and a way of life. It's about reducing the clutter, both physical and mental, that crowds our lives and clouds our judgment. This clutter isn't just the tangible mess in our homes and workspaces, it's also the intangible mess in our minds, the excess of thoughts, worries, and distractions that keep us from experiencing the present fully. Embracing minimalism in possessions and thoughts is akin to setting oneself free from the chains of excess. Minimalism isn't about deprivation. Rather, it's about finding abundance in less. It's about recognizing that having fewer possessions can lead to more freedom, more energy, and more focus. When we declutter our spaces, we declutter our minds. We remove the things that distract us, that drain our energy, that keep us mired in a perpetual state of wanting more. This creates room for us to breathe, to think, to create, and to enjoy the things that truly matter: our relationships, our passions, our peace of mind. In simplifying our lives, we also simplify our thoughts. We learn to distinguish between what deserves our attention and what does not. We begin to value quality over quantity, substance over superficiality. This mental decluttering is essential in an era where we are bombarded with information, where our attention is constantly pulled in 1,000 different directions. By simplifying our thoughts, we regain control over our focus, our energy, and ultimately, our time. The journey towards simplicity also involves a shift in perspective. It requires us to reevaluate our definitions of success, happiness, and fulfillment. We are often led to believe that more is better: more money, more possessions, more experiences. But simplicity teaches us that true satisfaction doesn't come from having more. It comes from being more present, more aware, more aligned with our values. It teaches us to find joy and contentment in the small things, the quiet moments, the simple pleasures that life has to offer. The beauty of simplicity is multifaceted. It's a beauty that lies in the clarity of a decluttered space, in the tranquility of a quiet mind, in the joy of small pleasures, and in the satisfaction of living a life aligned with one's values. As we embrace simplicity, we find that our lives become richer, not in material terms, but in terms of quality, meaning, and purpose. Simplicity, therefore, is not just a pathway to slow living, it is the very essence of it. Lesson 3. Embracing and enjoying your fate. I want to learn more and more to see as beautiful what is necessary in things. Then I shall be one of those who makes things beautiful. Amor fati, let that be my love henceforth. I do not want to wage war against what is ugly. I do not want to accuse. I do not even want to accuse those who accuse. Looking away shall be my only negation. And all in all and on the whole, someday I wish to be only a yes-sayer. Friedrich Nietzsche. These profound words introduce us to a deeply philosophical yet immensely practical aspect of slow living. Embracing and enjoying your fate, an idea encapsulated in the powerful concept of amor fati, the love of one's fate. Amor fati is not just a philosophical concept, it's a way of living. It's about accepting and even embracing everything that life brings your way, the good and the bad, the joyous and the painful. This acceptance does not imply passive resignation. Rather, it's an active embrace of life in all its fullness, a willingness to see every experience as an integral part of your journey. It's a recognition that every twist and turn, every obstacle and opportunity is a part of the unique tapestry of your life. Understanding and practicing amor fati means shifting our perspective on the events that shape our lives. It involves a radical acceptance of the present, regardless of whether it aligns with our wishes or desires. This acceptance is empowering. It frees us from the endless cycle of desire and disappointment, of constantly striving for something different, something more, something else. It allows us to find peace and joy in the way things are, rather than constantly seeking happiness in the way we think things should be. Embracing your circumstances, whatever they may be, is not about giving up on change or improvement. On the contrary, it's about recognizing that the only real change we can effect is within ourselves, in our attitudes, our perceptions, and our reactions. When we embrace our fate, we empower ourselves to respond to life's challenges with strength, grace, and wisdom. We learn to see every situation as an opportunity for growth and transformation. Amor fati teaches us the value of gratitude. In embracing our fate, we learn to be grateful for the experiences that shape us, even the painful ones. We realize that our struggles are often our greatest teachers, that our hardships can be the catalyst for profound personal development. This gratitude is not superficial. It's a deep, abiding appreciation for the richness and complexity of life. Living with amor fati also means embracing the impermanence of life. It reminds us that everything is transient, our joys, our sorrows, our successes, and our failures. This awareness brings a sense of humility and perspective, a recognition that we are but small players in the grand drama of the universe. It teaches us to hold on to things lightly, to enjoy the present moment without clinging to it, to let go gracefully when the time comes. But perhaps the most beautiful aspect of amor fati is the way it transforms our relationship with ourselves and the world around us. When we embrace our fate, we learn to be kinder to ourselves, to forgive ourselves for our flaws and failures. We learn to extend this kindness and compassion to others, recognizing that like us, they too are navigating the complexities of fate. We develop a sense of connectedness, a realization that we are all part of the same intricate web of existence. Embracing and enjoying your fate is about finding beauty and meaning in the life you have been given. It's about saying yes to life in all its forms, about making peace with the past, engaging fully with the present, and facing the future with courage and optimism. It's a crucial step in the journey towards slow living, a journey that encourages us to live deeply, thoughtfully, and authentically. Lesson 4. The value of leisure. Rest is not idleness, and to lie sometimes on the grass under trees on a summer's day, listening to the murmur of the water or watching the clouds float across the sky, is by no means a waste of time. John Lubbock. In a culture that often equates busyness with importance and productivity with worth, it's crucial to revisit and understand the true role of leisure in our lives. Leisure, in its purest form, is an essential aspect of human existence, a vital counterbalance to the demands of work and the stresses of daily life. Leisure is often misunderstood and, unfortunately, frequently conflated with laziness. This misconception stems from a societal narrative that glorifies constant activity and productivity at the expense of rest and relaxation. However, leisure and laziness are fundamentally different. Laziness is characterized by an unwillingness to act or use energy, often leading to stagnation and a sense of dissatisfaction. Leisure, on the other hand, is a conscious choice to engage in restful activities that rejuvenate and enrich our minds and bodies. It is an active pursuit, a deliberate decision to allocate time for activities that bring joy, relaxation, and a break from the routine demands of life. The significance of leisure lies in its capacity to restore us. It provides a space for mental and physical recovery, allowing us to recharge and return to our work with renewed energy and perspective. This restorative process is not just a matter of physical rest, but also of mental relaxation. Leisure time gives us the opportunity to step away from our daily tasks and concerns, to engage in activities that we enjoy for their own sake. This could mean delving into a hobby, spending time in nature, reading a book, or simply doing nothing at all. The key is that these activities should be engaged in freely and should bring a sense of joy and relaxation. Moreover, leisure plays a crucial role in fostering creativity and productivity. Contrary to the belief that constant work yields more results, research shows that taking regular breaks and engaging in leisure activities can significantly boost creativity and productivity. Leisure provides the mental space necessary for new ideas and perspectives to emerge. It allows the subconscious mind to process and synthesize information, leading to creative insights that often elude us in the midst of focused work. In addition, it contributes to our overall well-being and happiness. Engaging in these activities can lead to a reduction in stress, an improvement in mood, and an increase in overall life satisfaction. It provides an outlet for expressing ourselves, exploring our interests, and connecting with others. It fosters a sense of accomplishment and fulfillment that is different from, yet just as important as, the fulfillment we derive from our work. It's also essential for personal development and growth. It allows us to explore new interests, develop new skills, and broaden our horizons. These activities can challenge us in different ways than our work does, helping us to grow and evolve as individuals. They provide an opportunity for self-discovery and self-expression, allowing us to explore aspects of our identity that might remain dormant in the hustle of daily life. However, embracing leisure requires a shift in mindset. It requires us to let go of the guilt often associated with not being productive and to recognize the value of rest and relaxation. It requires us to prioritize our well-being and to recognize that taking time for leisure is not a luxury, but a necessity. It is a reminder that life is not just about doing, but also about being, not just about productivity, but also about presence. As we continue to explore the tenets of slow living, let us embrace the value of this lesson with open arms. Let us remember that taking time to rest and engage in activities we enjoy is not a deviation from productivity, but a path to a more balanced, creative, and fulfilling life. Lesson 5. Embracing patience. Adopt the pace of nature. Her secret is patience. Ralph Waldo Emerson. In a world increasingly driven by the desire for instant results and immediate gratification, the virtue of patience seems to be waning. The rapid advancements in technology, the pace of modern life, and the cultural shifts in how we communicate and consume have collectively fostered an expectation of quick, if not instantaneous, responses to our needs and desires. This relentless pursuit for the immediate can often leave us feeling rushed, stressed, and perpetually unsatisfied. In contrast, cultivating patience opens a pathway to a more thoughtful, peaceful, and fulfilling way of life. The cultural shift towards instant gratification is evident in various aspects of modern life. From fast food to fast fashion, from binge watching to instant messaging, the emphasis is on speed and efficiency. The ability to have our desires met almost as soon as they arise has created an underlying impatience in our approach to life. This impatience is not just external. It seeps into our internal landscape, affecting how we perceive time, how we manage our expectations, and how we deal with the inevitable delays and obstacles that life presents. The result is a collective restlessness, a sense of dissatisfaction that lingers even when our immediate needs are met. Cultivating patience, therefore, becomes a crucial counterbalance to this trend. It involves developing the ability to wait, to endure delay or hardship, without becoming annoyed or anxious. Patience is not a passive resignation to circumstances, but an active engagement with the process of life. It's about finding contentment and peace in the journey, not just the destination. It's about understanding that some things simply cannot be rushed, and that the best experiences often come from a willingness to wait. Developing patience requires both awareness and practice. It starts with recognizing the moments when impatience arises and understanding the triggers that set it off. This awareness can come from mindfulness practices such as meditation, which help us cultivate a sense of calm and presence in the moment. Mindfulness teaches us to observe our thoughts and feelings without judgment, allowing us to see the impatience without getting caught up in it. Another effective technique for cultivating patience is to deliberately put ourselves in situations where we have to wait. This could be as simple as standing in the longer line at the grocery store, taking the slower route to work, or refraining from using technology shortcuts. These small acts of patience can strengthen our ability to handle bigger moments of delay and frustration. They teach us to find comfort and peace in the waiting, to use the time for reflection, or simply to be present in the moment. Practicing gratitude is another powerful tool in developing patience. When we focus on the things we are grateful for, we shift our perspective from what we lack to what we have. This shift can alleviate the sense of urgency that often accompanies impatience. Gratitude helps us appreciate the present moment, with all its imperfections and delays, reminding us that there is value and beauty to be found in the here and now. Additionally, setting realistic expectations is key to cultivating patience. Often, our impatience stems from expectations that are out of sync with reality. By setting more realistic goals and timelines, we can reduce the frustration and disappointment that come from unmet expectations. This doesn't mean lowering our standards or giving up on our ambitions. It simply means acknowledging that some things take time, and that's okay. Cultivating patience also involves a shift in how we view time itself. In our fast-paced world, time is often seen as a commodity, something to be maximized and optimized. Patience invites us to see time differently, not as something to be filled or managed, but as something to be experienced and savored. It teaches us to value the quality of our time, not just the quantity. Cultivating patience is about embracing a slower, more deliberate approach to life. It's about learning to wait with grace and dignity, to find joy and meaning in the process, and to trust in the natural unfolding of life. As we continue our journey through the principles of slow living, let us carry with us the wisdom of patience, the understanding that good things often take time and that there is much to be learned and appreciated in the waiting. Patience, after all, is not just a virtue, it's a pathway to a deeper, more connected, and more fulfilling life. Lesson 6. Living in the present moment. Realize deeply that the present moment is all you ever have. Make the now the primary focus of your life. Eckhart Tolle. This lesson, crucial in the philosophy of slow living, invites us to explore the art of focusing on and truly enjoying the now. In our fast-paced, forward-looking society, where future plans and past memories often overshadow our current experiences, learning to live in the present moment is both a challenge and a profound opportunity for enrichment and growth. Understanding the concept of living in the now is fundamental to embracing this art. Living in the present moment means fully engaging with our experiences as they unfold, without the filters of bias, judgment, or preoccupation with past and future events. It's about acknowledging and appreciating life as it happens, recognizing that each moment, no matter how mundane, holds its own value and beauty. The present moment is where life occurs. It's where we make decisions, feel emotions, and experience the world around us. When we are fully present, we are actively participating in our lives, rather than just letting them pass us by. However, staying present and mindful in our daily lives is often easier said than done. Our minds are naturally inclined to wander, to ruminate on past events, and to worry about future possibilities. To counteract this, one practical tip is to engage in regular mindfulness or meditation practices. These practices train the mind to focus on the present and help develop the ability to return to the now when we find ourselves getting lost in thoughts of the past or future. Techniques like focusing on the breath, engaging in a body scan, or simply observing our current thoughts and feelings without judgment can ground us in the present moment. Another key strategy for living in the present is to cultivate an attitude of gratitude. By regularly acknowledging and appreciating what we have right here and now, we can shift our focus away from what we lack or what we desire in the future. Keeping a gratitude journal, or simply taking a few moments each day to mentally list things we are thankful for, can significantly enhance our awareness and appreciation of the present. In addition, reducing distractions is crucial in our attempt to live in the present. In a world where our attention is constantly pulled in multiple directions by technology and the demands of daily life, creating spaces free from distractions can help us engage more deeply with the present moment. This might involve setting aside specific times during the day when we unplug from our devices, or creating a quiet, peaceful space in our homes where we can sit and be present without interruptions. Engaging fully in our current activities is another practical way to stay present. Often, we find ourselves performing tasks while our minds are elsewhere. By consciously focusing on the task at hand, whether it's eating a meal, having a conversation, or going for a walk, we can enhance our experience of the present. This means actively listening when someone is speaking, savoring each bite of our food, or noticing the sights and sounds around us as we walk. Furthermore, practicing mindfulness in everyday activities can transform mundane tasks into opportunities for presence. Simple activities like washing dishes, taking a shower, or driving can become exercises in mindfulness if we focus on the sensations and experiences associated with these activities. For instance, feeling the warmth of the water, the texture of the soap, or the movement of our hands as we wash dishes can anchor us in the present moment. Embracing the present moment also involves accepting our current emotions and experiences without judgment. Often we resist unpleasant feelings or situations, which only serves to take us out of the present. By acknowledging and accepting our emotions as they arise, we allow ourselves to experience them fully and then let them go. This acceptance doesn't mean resigning ourselves to negative situations, but rather acknowledging them as part of our current reality. Living in the present moment is about embracing life as it unfolds, with all its unpredictability and imperfection. It's about letting go of the need to control or predict the future and releasing the hold that past experiences have on us. It's a journey towards being more attentive, more engaged, and more alive in every moment. As we draw this exploration of the art of slow living to a close, let us take a moment to reflect on the key lessons that have illuminated our journey, weaving together a tapestry of wisdom that can guide us towards a more mindful, fulfilled, and balanced existence. We began with the power of embracing daily rituals, understanding how small intentional practices can ground us in the present, creating a rhythm and a sense of stability amidst the chaos of life. These rituals, whether as simple as a morning cup of tea or a nightly moment of gratitude, serve as anchors, reminding us of the joy found in the ordinary and the importance of carving out time for ourselves. Moving forward, we delved into the beauty of simplicity, learning that the minimalist approach to life, both in terms of possessions and mindset, can lead to greater clarity, peace, and satisfaction. By stripping away the non-essential, we make room for the truly important, allowing ourselves to breathe, reflect, and engage more deeply with our surroundings and ourselves. In discussing embracing and enjoying your fate, we explored the concept of amor fati, the love of one's fate. We learned that accepting and even embracing everything life throws our way can empower us, not just to endure but to thrive. This acceptance allows us to find beauty and growth in all experiences, fostering resilience and a deep-seated contentment in the face of life's vicissitudes. The value of leisure taught us that rest is not idleness, but a vital component of a well-rounded, creative, and productive life. Leisure, in its truest form, is an act of self-care and rejuvenation, allowing us to return to our daily tasks with renewed energy and perspective, and reminding us that there is more to life than just work and obligations. In cultivating patience, we learned the importance of developing the ability to endure delay or hardship without becoming annoyed or anxious. In a world obsessed with speed and immediate gratification, patience is a quiet yet powerful act of rebellion, a testament to our ability to embrace life's rhythms and find joy in the journey, not just the destination. Finally, living in the present moment brought us to the realization that the here and now is all we truly have. By engaging fully with our current experiences, we open ourselves to the richness and depth of life, finding joy, beauty, and wisdom in the fleeting, ordinary moments that make up our days. Remember, it's not about doing everything at a snail's pace. It's about living intentionally, mindfully, and with a sense of purpose. It's about choosing quality over quantity, depth over breadth, and living in a way that aligns with your values and brings you genuine happiness. Let this exploration be a starting point, an invitation to slow down, to savor, and to reconnect with the essence of living. As you step back into the rhythm of your life, carry with you the lessons of slow living. Let them guide your choices, your actions, and your mindset. So go forth with the knowledge that in the simplicity, in the rituals, in the leisure, in the patience, and in the present moment, there lies a path to a richer, more fulfilling life. Embrace it, savor it, and let it transform you. The art of slow living is a gift, one that is available to all who seek it. May your journey be filled with discovery, joy, and an abundance of moments that take your breath away.